Everybody has a day and the sun stays away. Take heart in a new tomorrow. Live more love between looks for a brighter day. Never need worry if one love sets you free. One love keep us together. Living in a world, it's a struggle just staying alive. One love keep us together. Living in a world, it's a struggle just staying alive. Somebody tell me, oh, why do we fight it? One love can set us free if we just let it be. Take off in a brand new day.
Hey, baby, nice to see you all.
Good love is all we need to chase the clouds away. Never need worry if we just let it be. One love keep us together. Living in a world, it's a struggle just staying alive. One love keep us together. Living in a world, it's a struggle just staying alive.
So nice to see all of you joining in.
You never need worry, no, no. Let one love set you free. One love, keep us together.
Well, it's nice to see all of you logging in and joining me. Thank God it's Friday with Dr. Femi Paul. I see you, Deji, looking at my hat. I'm not going to let you steal it. Hey, Captain, you're talking about my hat too. Well, don't get distracted because there's a lot of goodies coming on today. Oh, I should leave the hat out. Okay. Want to welcome you this evening. It is Friday, and thank God it is Friday. You know, when it's time to forget all the stress at work and just sit back, chill out, and chillax. Get yourself a drink, get a nice, comfortable chair. It is going to be rollicking today because we are blessed of God. As I welcome you this evening, I thank God for the week, and I pray that the weekend will deliver to us even more goodies in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, now as I welcome you this evening, I want to especially welcome those who are joining us for the very first time. If you invited someone to join us, God bless you. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. I wish some people would give them a wave and say you're welcome to our platform. This is what we do on Fridays. Thank God it's Friday. I want to tell you, my friend, is all about meaningful and enabling conversations that helps to equip each and every one of us in how that we can thrive better in life, especially the way life throws so many bananas at us these days. It's quite an unpredictable time of life that we face. But I thank God it's Friday, we'll learn how to deal with it and rise above all the things going on. Having said that, you know, I will quote John C. Brown. He says, conversation is a catalyst for innovation. Conversation becomes so important as a catalyst for innovation. That's what we're all about at TGIF. Meaningful conversations, very helpful, very enabling. It's as if John C. Brown read Proverbs 27 verse 17a from the Living Bible, because that scripture says a friendly discussion is so stimulating. I like that. It is so stimulating to all your creative juices. Your power of innovation gets unleashed, and then we make quantum leaps forward. So thank you, John C. Brown, for that quote. And Samuel Johnson also says concerning an event he went to, he said, we had talk enough but no conversation. There was talk, yet no conversation, sad. And there was therefore nothing meaningful discussed. And so at TGIF, we're going to be talking. It is going to be meaningful. It's going to be enabling and meaningful conversation that helps us forge ahead. I know and I want you to understand that without enabling conversations, there cannot really be an exchange of thoughts or opinions. And when that doesn't happen, there can be the consequence of new understanding gained and adjustments made so that we can be better and do better and become greater. TGIF, my friend, is all about helping helping one another handle life a lot better than we used to do. And how do we do that? We share the knowledge that we have. We take a subject, we share the knowledge that we have, we share the stories and the experiences, and as we do that, we enable one another. So what do you need to do? You need to be a part of this, not just benefit from it. Now, you need to post your own contributions, your own questions, your even if you have if you disagree about something, and post particularly your stories, because stories stick in the mind more than whatever we say. So post your experiences by stories and you'll be a blessing. Now, if you didn't do it last time, do it this time. It's time to share this video. As you share the video, you will enable other people enjoy Thank God It's Friday and learn. Okay? So we want to go straight into TGIF for today. It promises to be very hilarious, very informative, and changes us to be better. But let me back up for a few Fridays. The last three sessions of TGIF, we looked at this subject, and I just want to refresh your memory, the attractiveness of shortcuts. You know how that Nigerians, we love shortcuts. That's why we go one way, we beat the traffic, we do all kinds of things. And so we looked at the attractiveness of shortcuts. Are these shortcuts, are they faster and better? Is that all there is to them? Or could they be hasty and dangerous to our destiny? If you missed that, you need to go on our platforms and find out how that went. And after that, we looked at another subject, how much luck is really involved in true success. How much luck do you need to be truly successful? Some say a whole lot, some say just a little, and some say you don't need any. And we looked at the subject from the angle, what do you see? We learned from each other, and we're done with that. And we moved quickly again to another very enlightening subject, bad vibes and bad energy. Bad vibes and bad energy. Very annoying, damaging, and infectious. What can we do about it? We learned what can be done about it, and we are good for it. And today, we're going to put it into overdrive. Yeah, you know, overdrive. And what we're going to be looking at is a subject, matchmakers versus dating sites. Matchmakers on one side and dating sites on the other side. Which is the way forward? The trusted old way or the adventurous new trend? Which is the way forward? The adventurous old way, which is the old time, old style matchmakers, or the new adventurous trend, the dating sites? This is going to be hot. This subject, my friend, concerns everybody, either directly or indirectly. It concerns you and I directly if you are still in the place of looking for love. It concerns you indirectly if some of your loved ones are still in the place looking for love. So if you found yours, what about the people you love? Because generally you want people you love to have what you have. So it concerns everyone. That's why everyone needs to be on this platform talking about matchmakers and dating sites. Let me shoot off Proverbs 18 verse 22. The Message Bible makes it clear that you need to go look for that girl. You need to go look for that boy. It says, find a good spouse, you'll find a good life. Find a good spouse, find a good life. And even more, you gain the favor of God. Woo, I like that. But it starts with the word find. So find a spouse is what it says. Find a good one, not just one. Find a good one. Question is how, God? How do I do it? Should I go the route of the matchmakers of old, or should I go the route of the dating sites of the new trend? Where can we go to find a good spouse? Is the question we want to find out today, the old way or the new way? The question is, how can we find a good spouse in this season? How far then can we really go before it begins to look like we are trying to help God in this particular area of our lives of finding a spouse? Maybe you found yourself in a good university, you find yourself a good job, now you're finding a spouse, and the options are up there. I want to ask the question, how far can we go before we become guilty of trying to help God? You know that's a bit dicey. Traditionally, people used to look around their family circles for love. They used to look around their friends and their old schoolmates circles, and many even go to church, and church is great. And I'm a pastor, so church family, you stand a great chance of finding yourself a good spouse there. However, things seem to have changed, or can I say things are changing? What happened? Why are good people looking away from these old traditional circles of friends and family, church family, schoolmates? Why are they looking into this new thing called dating sites? What happened? Please tell us what happened to the traditional ways of finding love. What happened? What happened? Why did it happen? And how did it happen? What happened? Why it happened? And how did it happen? And so we want to know what to do about it. I wonder, is it that the old ways are not working anymore? Or I don't know, what are your experiences in this regard? I want to hear from you. You know that TGIF is not a monologue, it's not even a dialogue, it is a conversation, all hands on deck. I want you to post what you think. What happened to the old ways? If the old ways were working so well, why is this new way gaining a lot of traffic? If the old ways have a problem, should we not know what they are and try and fix it? Should it be either or could these two ends be complementary? I want to know what you think. There's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. You tell us your opinion, tell us why, and we will reason with you and we'll learn from each other. And at the end of the day, we'll find out what God says. So I want to take a question. Apart from you posting your experiences in this regard, did you go the route of the old traditional matchmakers way, or did you go the new trend of dating sites? I also want to ask a question. What is the success ratio as far as your experience is concerned? What is success ratio when comparing the two extremes or the two options of the traditional matchmaking ways and going to the dating site? What do you think the success ratio is? Could that be where the problem is? We want to find out. It's not going to be a rumor. We're going to know the truth. As you do that, I want you to please allow me to take a contribution from my friend John. John, on the subject matchmakers versus dating sites, which is the way forward, the trusted old way or the adventurous new trend? This is what John has to say. John says, generally, we know that the whole idea of dating in theory is meant to start with friendship, with a friendship stage. Yeah, that's right. Having that in mind, I can say that there are two categories of people in this case. He says that there are the conservatives and the adventurous. So those looking for love, they fall into two categories. John says they are the conservatives and the adventurous. I'm glad he didn't say the old and the young. I know where he would have placed me. The conservatives in this context will be those who are not exactly risk takers. They're a bit averse to risk. For such people, matchmaking is a good fit for them because the matchmaker knows you and the other person well enough to believe that you both are compatible, giving you a kind of edge rather than having to start looking for love from scratch all by yourself by means of trial and error. This guy is good. He says that adventurous are those whom dating sites are meant for. These are the types that love unraveling mysteries themselves. And rather than having somebody do it for them. It says the adventurous are those whom dating sites are for. They are the types that love unraveling mysteries themselves rather than having someone do it for them. The only issue with this is that you have no guarantee whatsoever of whom exactly the other person you're chatting with is. No one to vouch for that person you're chatting with. So you basically go into that chatting blind, having to believe the guys on your dating site just by what they say they are or what they choose to reveal about themselves. What is going on with John? John, can I thank you enough? I can't thank you enough for your contribution, very lucid. You break open the conversation, and with that, I want you to please join me and let me know what John said about the conservatives and the adventurers. Is it true? And if it is true, which class do you fall in? Are you the conservative ones or are you the adventurous ones? And if you are either, why are you like that? And perhaps somebody will even help me and even tell me whether which one you think is the better one to be, the conservative or the adventurous. I want to hear from you. So thank you, John, for your contribution. I'm waiting. Okay, Olayika says the ratio of success between the conservative and between the matchmaking traditional ways and the new ways of online dating. She says the ratio is between 7 to 3. So 7 for who? Dating site is 7 while matchmaking is 3. Now that's a good figure for us to consider. But the question is, do you agree? What is your take? What do you think the ratio is in actual fact? Which one appears to be more effective today? We're here to do fact finding, and I want to hear from you. So I'm going to ask, if what John said is the truth, so is it the need for adventure that is the determinant factor of the movement and the traffic from the traditional matchmaking ways of finding love to the new dating site era? Is it the need for adventure? Is it that people are a lot more adventurous these days? And the question is, even if they are, is it really good for them? The data on such things will be very helpful. So I want to hear from you. What do you think it is? Okay, I have a contribution here from Maria. Maria, thank you. It says, in recent times, people have regretted matchmaking due to the fact that many cannot be trusted. Matchmaking used to work in those days. People cannot be trusted, so people are now more careful. So the matchmakers are now hesitant. Now that's another angle I never saw. So by the nature of people becoming more crafty in their personality, so you never know who you're dealing with, you cannot recommend people like in the days of old. So if these same people now migrate to the dating site, it's going to be the same problem. They're still going to be dubious. So I don't know whether that solves the problem. It just shifts the trouble somewhere else. I want to hear from you. This is going to get lit today. What is going on here? Okay. Now, another observation that hits me on this subject of matchmakers versus dating site is it appears that traditional matchmaking simply seems to offer fewer opportunities to meet your prospective partners compared to the dating sites that appear to offer quantum opportunities and options. Now, is this what is driving traffic to the dating sites? Because if someone is going to, if a few people are going to do matchmaking for you, how many options can they give you? Very few. But if you go to the dating site, you just keep scrolling from morning till night until your finger gets tired. Now, for me, just because something is a lot does not mean it's good. Sometimes what is few is where the quality is. But I want to hear from you. So, I want to know whether what is driving traffic to the dating sites. Now, some of you have great experiences and you need to share this. And if you feel a little awkward about it, leave out some critical details, but let us learn from you what really works and what is an illusion that the new world is dangling, whether it is for real or it's just an illusion. I'm going to take another contribution from Moses. Moses, thank you for sending me your contribution. The subject is matchmakers versus dating site. Which is the way forward, the old trusted way or the adventurous new trend? Hey, so Moses says, I think dating sites are actually the way forward. This guy comes guns blazing. I think dating sites are actually the way forward. Because these days, a lot of people are invested on social media. So they have built their confidence around social media. For good or not, we'll find out. So I think both of them have a 50-50 success ratio. Now, Olayinka said it's 7-3, 70-30. He says it's 50-50 ratio, success ratio, because back then it was done face-to-face, but these days, because of how the world is moving, it is done mostly over dating sites. The real difference, it says, revolves around the confidence of the person in question. How ready is that kind of person to approach the other gender and say what your gender is face to face? It is much easier to chat with someone you like, someone you really like. Is easier to chat with them online and to say what you want to say, and even say, you know, some heavy love things. While it is not so easy, trust me, to confidently say the same things face to face to that same somebody, particularly when you're meeting for the first time or you're not well acquainted. So it appears that the dating site gives you the opportunity of speaking from hiding so they can't see your face. Now, for those that are shy or have a little confidence issue, that could be helpful. Nothing spoiled. Okay, let me see. So I want to thank you, Moses, for that. And whilst I'm waiting for you, now DJ, hey, nice to see you. Now, if you give me a lot of contribution, maybe I'll let you have my hat. DJ says, I matched a couple and the guy is not living up to expectations. Boy, am I getting it? No more for me. Oh no. DJ says, I matchmade. And this boy, the male in the union, is not living up to expectation. So maybe this is what is happening to the old institution of matchmaking. Maybe people are getting burned so much, they're leaving this matter. Whew. But is it okay that because you got burnt once, what is a good thing to do? We're going to stop doing it. It's like lending money to people. Somebody doesn't pay back. Do you turn your face away from the next person that has a real need? I want to hear from you. But Deji, I really feel for you, and you know, this guy really needs to be spoken to. He goes on to say, dating sites are absolutely okay with me. You can find someone that has the same outlook in life rather than going through the process of elimination. Deji, I know that anytime you're on ground, you always bring forth very sound contribution. I'm going to take a contribution again from Damilola. And Damilola, I'm so grateful that you communicated on this subject, matchmakers versus dating sites. Which is the way forward, the trusted old way or the adventurous new trend? Damilola says, for me, it definitely has to be the old way, which is matchmaking. So Moses goes to one end, Damilola goes to the other end. That's why TJ is a very good place, balance. She says, my friend, she goes on to say that my friend would surely understand the things I look forward to in a guy, even if my friend doesn't have the complete list. She will definitely know quite a number of relevant things. So when she's introducing someone to me or introducing me to someone, it has to be someone who she thinks, for good reason, I'll be able to sit down with and have good conversation with and be able to build up from there. And also she says, if my friend is trying to link me up with someone, it's going to be based on all good intentions. It's not a business project. The dating site may be a business project, so it's not about you. But when your friend is introducing you, there's good intentions woven into it. She goes on to say, but she will definitely not, my friend will definitely not introduce me to someone who's entirely the opposite of what I want. My friend has done the assignment to an extent by doing the spade work before bringing up this introduction. Then I am able to complete it by trying to get to know the person more and more by myself and to see if anything good will come out of it. But at a dating site, it's just like vibes and cruise. Now, vibes and cruise, I'm hearing that for the first time. Please somebody tell me, what does that mean? It says, but dating site is just vibes and cruise. We need bad vibes and bad energy, but I don't know these vibes and cruise. She says, but a dating site is just like vibes and cruise. You both are total strangers, yet there's something called getting to know each other. But to be honest, you cannot get to really know a person just by chatting online. So what am I saying in essence? She closes. It says, people fake their personalities. They also fake identities on dating site. Lastly, I feel like you're not likely to find serious people on dating site. That's her opinion. And that's just an honest opinion, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. Thank you, Damilola. You say you go for the good old ways. And Moses says, nah, the world has changed. We're going with a new trend. I want to hear from you. So DJ says, okay, Rachel, nice to see you as well. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are. Okay, and DJ says the old way is not necessarily the right way. Your partner may be in another city or town. The old way limits your options. It's like shopping. Now you can buy from anywhere rather than just your local stores. This guy is so rational, and he's selling this idea to me, and I'm buying it. Okay now. Okay, so with that said, I want to ask a question. Apart from dating sites, are there matchmaking sites also? Because all I know is dating sites, and I'm beginning to think maybe there are matchmaking sites. Taking the old into the new. What a metamorphosis that would be. And if they do exist, what would be the difference between an online dating site and an online matchmaking site? Those of you that know, put me out of my misery. Tell me, shine the light. I want to hear from you. Okay? Now, I'm going to take another contribution from Olaide. Today we have two Olaides. Generally, we have two Olaides on site. And Olaide says on the subject, matchmakers versus dating sites, which is the way forward, the trusted old way, or the adventurous new trend. Olaide says matchmaking is the arranging of two mature, ready adults for initiation onto romantic relationships or for marriage purposes, depending on the motives of such introduction or what the two of them want. The matchmaker is a person who arranges or tries to arrange possible relationships for dating or for possible marriage by introducing two possible mates who he or she knows much about, both character-wise, level of understanding, family background, education, their likes and their dislikes, and so on and so forth. This is a person who he or she can vouch for, and so puts a person forward. Matchmaking proves to have impressive success results going by these two online matchmakers' success rates. Okay, now to my question, Olaide is already answering this. He says matchmaking, not the old one, it appears. Matchmaking proves to have impressive success results going by these two online matchmakers' success rate. One, Stanger, I hope I pronounced that right. Stanger reports a 99% success rate, and Spindle says she has sealed the deal on more than 900 couples since 1993. The source for this information is Garon and Roland. Stanger and Spindle are name brand professional matchmakers. So Stanger and Spindle are professional matchmakers brand. Wow. So like coffee, these guys have their own brand. On the other hand, the dating site, which is an online dating or internet dating, is a system that enables people to find and introduce themselves to potential connections all over the internet, usually with the goal of developing personal, romantic, or sexual relationships. At least somebody is talking about that. It's been swept under the carpet. The only difference is the intermediary who is known. The only difference is the only difference between the dating sites and the online matchmakers is the intermediary who is known as the matchmaker. Online dating apps or sites or internet dating has nothing to do with someone's introduction. The intending person goes to the dating site and searches and does the introduction by themselves, one-on-one. This can really be dangerous, full of lies, pretense, because of people with double standards. The person on the other end could even be an ex-convict, and it would not be noted online, even if the dating goes on for a good number of years. So many bad or negative things are hidden in online dating, which some can't be, and some can't be verified except by first-hand information from a known veritable source. A great diversity of online dating services currently exists, but none can vouch for an individual as per good or bad character. I believe, she says, matchmaking is still the best form of relationship arrangement, and I think she's talking more about the online arrangement because there is an intermediary who has searched the personalities, the profile, and the information of both parties before now suggesting. Unlike online dating, when you just scroll, see faces, and whatever they write you is the quantum of information you have. So she says, I believe matchmaking is still the best form of relationship management. So far, the people involved are good with it and are ready to work things out. So between the two, it appears that matchmaking online appears to be safer because somebody has done the filtering of information and somebody actually does the introduction, even though you're not bound to accept the introduction. I'm learning a lot. So with that, I want to hear from you. Okay, then you come up again and say, who said anything about the old way being trusted? None of them can be trusted. People do whatever it takes to get who they want. They will follow you to church and also promise to change religion just for you. After marriage, you see how the story goes. None can be trusted. And I think he's speaking volumes there. You meet the right person by grace and by favor. It's not about a location, whether it's online, whether it's by grace and favor. So if it's by grace and favor, then should we not be praying? Should we not be led? I mean, how can a confidence come by what somebody said? Man, the heart of a man is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? And these days, I don't know why people really think you can do whatever you want just to get whatever you want and whoever you want. And I think that's a huge one. Okay. Maria, thank you for your contribution. Maria posts to say, matchmaking can be burdensome when things go wrong. On dating sites, you are solely responsible for your own actions. Plenty of prayers required, whichever way you go, she says. I totally agree with you. And Merciful Mercy says, dating site can go wrong most times because individuals don't give the true information about themselves. But matchmaking is better because you know who referred you in case of eventualities. Thank you for the contribution. Listen, as whatever you say, we're going to think about it. And TGIF is not about anybody sitting on top of the wall thinking I know it all. It's a sign of foolishness to even think you know it all. We learn from each other, and sometimes we have to make adjustments, because I have learned some things now, and I want you to continue to post. We want to get to the bottom of this and understand the new world, and not in a way that we can now be made merchandise of. No, understand how to relate with it, what to get involved in and what not to get involved in, and to what extent even if we're going to get involved. So I have a question. I want to make an observation rather. So from what has been said by Olaide about this online matchmaking thing, so that means we now have the traditional matchmakers of old and we also now have the online matchmakers. My question then is, I wonder how this is going to play out in the end. Who is losing out? Who is gaining? Who is doing the right thing? Who is not doing the right thing? We just want to examine these things honestly for the benefit of those who are still in search of love. You may be surprised that this is what's going to save somebody's life today. I'm going to take another contribution from Rachel. Says, I agree with matchmaking. Is it the online one or the old school one? And she says, nice hat. Thank you. I'm getting a lot of compliments for this hat. I think I'll keep it on. All right, I'm going to take a contribution from Captain Brown. Captain Brown, how are you doing? On the subject matchmakers and dating versus dating sites, which is the way forward, the trusted old way or the adventurous new trend? He says, for this one, I think both are the same thing. Hello. The only difference is simple. One is offline and the other is online. This guy just breaks it down to the simplest format. And he concludes by saying both involve two interested parties with a facilitator. So the facilitator for the old-time matchmaker is the intermediary. So who is a facilitator on the online dating? I don't know. Captain, you need to answer that. Now, dating sites. I want to make an observation. I want you to agree with me if you really agree with me, and to disagree, but tell me why if you don't agree. Dating sites also afford one the opportunity to check people out covertly. The word covertly means in hiding. It's like putting a spy camera on somebody. So dating sites also afford one the opportunity to check out people covertly without anybody knowing that you're checking out some guys or some girls. Whilst matchmaking is a bit more open, is a more overt rather than covert. So matchmaking opens up your moves, your interest, because it's done publicly. Somebody is introduced to somebody. But when you're in your room, in your office, going through the site, nobody knows. So you can check out as many people as you want. So I'm saying that, is this not why many are opting for dating sites? Because it's easier when people don't know your business. But then it also allows the bad side of you to jump out. So I want to know, think about it, how many people are checking you out now? You don't know. For what reason? So I want to hear from you. Whilst that is going on, I'm going to take a contribution from Olainka. Olainka, thank you for your contribution. And that contribution is on the subject of matchmakers versus dating sites, which is the way forward, the trusted old way or the adventurous new trend. This girl got something to say. So this topic brings to light my own experience, which I'm about to share with you. Ooh, good girl. You know, the best gift you can give somebody is open your heart to them. He said, there was a time in my life when I wasn't getting much attention from guys. Hey, everybody's been through that. Don't worry about it. And I wasn't chanced to go out much because of the kind of job I was doing at that time. The job didn't create the avenue to mingle, so I opted for a paid dating site. So there's dating sites and there's those you pay for. You know, I'm going to wonder the money aspect of all these things, you know. So anything that has to do with the money, you have to watch the intentions. So I opted for the paid dating site because I heard of the success rate of people that have used it. Be careful also the testimonials you hear about some sites. Sometimes they are conjured up. I was matched with a guy. We talked for a few days, but on the long run, it didn't work out because the guy wasn't serious. Or lying. What do you mean by he wasn't serious? You know, when girls say somebody wasn't serious, sometimes it's coded language. He was not serious about what? Which part was he not serious about? But let me go on. She says, so if you ask me, I would like to join a dating site. If I would like to join a dating site, I would say yes. But I won't join the paid one again. Okay, you learn that you put your money in your pocket. They put your money in their pocket fast. Just because it didn't work out the first time, going on the dating site doesn't mean it won't work out another time. True? Moreover, meeting a guy in real life doesn't guarantee a long-lasting relationship anyways. So, some people go to dating site because it saves time, gives access to many options, and you won't have your family trying to make your decision for you. They don't get in your business. That's what the covert thing I was talking about. It also opens dating opportunities beyond your geographical location, and that's good. But if you now finally bond together, who is going to move to the other person's location when you both are planted and you're working and you're thriving? So this location thing, sometimes you need to think about it. It may become a deal breaker when the soup don't cook finish. Okay? However, the bad side of it is that it is hard to detect the truth. She's talking about dating sites now. It also presents a weak grip on reality. For example, people may put up young and edited pictures of themselves, and they're actually now old and not so good looking anymore. And while I'm now very anxious, very pleased to meet this person and getting the kind of results you get when you finally meet the person will be so disappointing. This is where I put it. You meet the person you're looking for, that you've been chatting with online, seeing all the pictures, and you're asking the person, oh, have you seen this person? Now, talking about that, what about makeup? You meet a lot of people made up. The day you see them without makeup, you may not even recognize who you're dealing with. Now, before I get into trouble, let me move out of that subject. Okay, then it comes along. Okay, let me finish reading what Olanka says, and I'll read what the just comment would be. It says, my advice, if you plan to opt for this adventurous new trend, is that as you meet new people, take it slow. I should put that in blazing captions. Take it slow with each other. If you don't like the person, don't commit. And sex shouldn't be on the table at all. Somebody hit the nail on the head. And lastly, whether online or offline, take background checking seriously. You can't do without that one. No matter how your heart makes jiggy. Listen, what is going to bite you, you better find out to know whether you can cope with it or not. So Deji says, a friend had a thing for Brazilian women. Deji. He couldn't find one here in Atlanta. Guess what? He found one at a dating site and brought her to Atlanta from Brazil. They're married with beautiful kids. Wow. You can see my expression. That's amazing. I was laughing when I said he had a thing for Brazilian women, because I kind of think, must it be about color or height or something? I thought love is really a hot thing. Well, I stand to be corrected. What do I know? I'm just a pastor. Some of you know a lot more than me. So talk to me. I want to hear from you. Oh, we have some contributions here. Okay, let me quickly take that. Okay. Vania says, dating sites are a double-edged sword, Pastor. You get catfished and meet people who create a false personality for the site. The matchmakers are no better. I think they're all they're after is their fee. Oh, the matchmakers, not before they recommend you, I'm sure, there must be a fee matter somewhere. So the matchmakers, he says, is that they're all after their fee. But I think in the 21st century, online dating cannot be avoided. It's risky business though, but what can a girl do? Okay, oh, it's a lady, thank you so much. Sorry, I thought you were a guy. Okay, then that says, and she closes by saying it doesn't work for some people, and that's fair enough. You know, you have to know which way your way is. You can't do follow just because some people are doing that. Okay, Deji, okay, Leke, nice to have you online. About time too. Deji says matchmaking and online dating are two sides of the same coin. The end game of both is to potentially birth a union that lasts. True. However, the fulfillment of potential is up to the two persons who were either match-made or connected online. So the responsibility, David says, is on you. But whatever you do, look at me, shine your eye. Because a lot of people, today disguise is the order of the day. Chameleon living is so rife. And I think we need to pray that God opens up whatever somebody is not opening up, so that when you take a decision, you take an informed decision. Venia says, I paid a matchmaker once and not one recommendation or date for a whole year. What? So sometimes they even pocket the money. Oh, thank you, Venia. That really helps. I hope somebody is listening. Now, of the two options that we're talking about, matchmakers or dating sites, which of the two options do you think is safer? Which is riskier? And whatever your answer is, what is the reason for your answer? I want to hear from you. You're going to be a blessing to me and to a lot of people. The thing with a good conversation is you come off more knowledgeable. And you see, this bigotry of saying, I know what I know, and so on, it just ends in a big shameful fall. You know, because the truth is, life is incremental. You should learn more by the day. And so when we share knowledge, we're building up each other. I have certainly learned quite a chunk today. So, but in the meantime, answer the question if you can, which of these two options, the matchmakers or the dating site, is safer and which is riskier? And why do you say so? I want to hear from you. Okay, Deji and Leke are having a side TGIF. If you can see them on Facebook, you need to read their comments. Okay, I'm going to take a contribution from Sila. Sila, thank you for taking the time to send me your comments on this. The subject is matchmakers versus dating sites, which is the way forward, the trusted old way or the adventurous new trend. Sila, she says, the old ways were trusted. I guess that is why it is referred to here as a trusted old ways. But is it to be trusted? In this day and age, people will rather choose adventure rather than trust. Can you see? Some people know some things better than us. In this day and age, people would rather choose adventure than trust. So the good old ways they find boring. Lots of people would prefer the thrill, the variety, and those are what matchmaking or dating sites offer. Both have worked for people, so there is no right or wrong way to find love. However, it is important to know that both have their own risks. The level of risk differs, and from time to time it changes. The way forward will be to be dependent on who is involved. What the person wants and how much risk they're willing to take. For me, I do not fancy dating sites. I can handle matchmaking, but not virtual dating. Thank you for your contribution, Sila. God bless you. And with that, I'm going to throw a question, which is an honest question. Are there any Christian dating sites? Are there any Christian online dating sites? By that, I mean the sites that are driven by biblical principles as much as the internet will allow. If not, let's think about it. Do we need them? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. So with that, I'm going to take, whilst you're sending me your answers, I'm going to take a contribution from Dora. Dora, thank you for your contribution on the same subject, matchmakers versus dating sites. She says matchmaking and dating sites are common these days. Swiping through applications like Tinder, Bumble, and so on, I don't even know them, is now the norm. As some who are happily married today can attest to, haven't found a significant other through dating sites or social media platforms. So some people have been blessed through this avenues. In our culture today, there's so much emphasis placed on finding the right one, in quote, finding the right one. And those of us who are still single can sometimes feel the pressure that comes with not finding that right one. I believe some of the reason people turn to online dating is because they don't get to socialize enough, and they don't get to meet people a lot. So they sign up on this site and pour over thousands of online profiles for hours at a time with the hope to meet and unearth a soulmate who has eluded them all their lives. I have not used dating site because I don't believe it's a path for me. And a lot of Nigerians have turned dating sites into hookup sites. So what's the difference between dating and hookup? Somebody enlighten us. Although there are genuine relationship-seeking men on those sites, there are also plenty of guys who are simply looking just to hook up. It appears hookup will be fast. You know what? It also creates an avenue for fraud, and the ability to get to know the other person is only as effective as their willingness to reveal their true, authentic self. So in my view, she says, God is the ultimate matchmaker. And I give you a thumbs up for that, Dora. God is the ultimate matchmaker, and throughout scripture, we're given many examples of God as a matchmaker and how he divinely orchestrated and strategically placed women in the path of their husband. Eve was created from and for Adam, and Esther was presented to the king Xerxes as he was intrigued by her. She closes by saying, another matchmaking example in the Bible which caught my attention was when Abraham sent his servant to find a wife for his son Isaac. Abraham's servant had arrived at the time of the day when women came to draw water from the well, meaning he had the opportunity to meet different women in order to select the right one for Isaac. Okay? When you think about it, online dating apps and sites aren't really dating applications at all. They are innovative. They are innovative introduction applications. They're not dating sites or applications. They're only introduction application or sites that help you talk to more people, meet some of them, and yes, maybe find your significant other half. Singles hangouts. Scouting for your better half from the pool of Christian brothers and sisters in your church. Matchmaking sites, dating sites, and so on. Whatever means you decide on meeting people, it is very important you bring God into the mix. That is sound counsel. Whatever way you go, bring God into the mix. In conclusion, we have been given the free will to choose whomsoever we want to date or marry. It will be wise to surrender to God's ultimate matchmaking abilities to alleviate the pressure we place on ourselves to find that person by ourselves. After all, his ways are greater than ours. Thumbs up for Dora's contribution. And with that, okay, so Alaika puts me out of my misery by saying that, yes, sir, there are so many dating sites for Christians. Niger Christian mingles. Wow. Okay, you see, this is why it's good to come to TJ and says, and then he comes along and says, yes, my brother Leke, meeting people anyway is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. It's only by divine intervention you find the right partner. We keep coming to this God matter. We keep coming to this divine intervention. So if you look, that's good. But at the end of the day, there's a God factor. I take my last contribution from Lady, the second lady. And Lady, thank you for your contribution on Matchmakers versus dating site, which is a way forward. She says, online dating is a system that enables people to find and introduce themselves to potential connections over the internet, usually with the goal of developing personal or romantic relationships. The key words for me are find, introduce, and potential connections. Whether you meet people online or in person, these words apply. The purpose of dating site is to connect with other people. There's no rule that says you must marry who you met, and there's no rule that says you must date who you met as well. So for people who are shy or introverted, this online means of selecting and interacting with a potential date provides a less confronting way to initiate a connection. That's true. Messaging, video calls, and phone chats can help someone get a better sense of a person before committing to an actual face-to-face meeting. That's good. I don't think dating sites in themselves is a bad idea. I don't think dating sites by themselves is a bad idea. What makes it good or bad is what is driving the people that sign up for it. And how far they're willing to go to snap up a good catch. Imagine you being called a good catch. That's a good one. She says, what makes this thing good or bad is what is driving the people who sign up for this and how far they're willing to go to snap up a good catch. It may appear that looking for love online betrays a lack of faith in God's provision of a spouse. But then I believe that online dating is merely a tool to bring two people together. The users may not necessarily place their faith in the matchmaking site. I may be wrong, but for me, the issue is not how you meet, but whom you marry. In conclusion, she says, so whether on dating site or physically that you meet people, Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6, the New Living Translation says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all that you do. Seek his will in all that you do. And guess what? The Bible says, and he will show you which path to take. That is end of discussion. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding, whether it's matchmaking, whether it's online. Seek his will in all you do, and God will show you which path to take. And the thing I tell people is, if God chooses a path, he will go along that path with you. If you chose your path, you may go down that path yourself. So because God doesn't take responsibility for what he did not order. So it's good. I would recommend that you keep God in the mix. The way I look at it is like a billboard that I put out there some time ago. And that billboard said, Google may have the facts, but only God knows the truth. You can Google anything, Google will give you the facts, but he never knows the truth. So it's like the facts you can get from a dating site and so on, but only God knows the truth. And guess what? People even change. So just because you met somebody like this, only God can tell you and prepare you for the changes that are ahead. So what do I say? Always consult God, even if you think you have found love through a dating or matchmaking site. However you find somebody, always consult God. Jeremiah 6 and verse 16a, the New Living Translation, is what I'm going to read. And that's the only counsel I'm going to give everybody. I haven't read the scripture from Lady, the New Living Translation. I only need to add this, or rotisoretum after that. Everything that needs to be said is captured in those two scriptures. This one says, Jeremiah 6 verse 16a, the New Living Translation says, this is what the Lord God says, stop at the crossroads and look around and ask for the old godly way and walk in it. Travel in its path, and you will find rest for your souls. May we not take a choice that will make our life restive rather than give us rest for our souls. The Living Bible translation of the same text says, "Yet the Lord pleads with you." Can you imagine? Yet the Lord pleads with you still. Ask where the good road is, the godly path you used to walk in the days of long ago. Travel there and you'll find rest for your soul. I take one more reading from the Message translation of the Bible. It says, God's message yet again. Go stand at the crossroads and look around. Ask for directions to the old road, the tried and true road. Take it and you will discover the right route for your souls. What can I say? The subject is so, it concerns everybody, whether you're looking for love or you have people looking for love. It's a conversation we all needed to have. And haven't said all that we said, haven't learned everything, and looking at the options, and options are good, because if you don't have options, you may get stuck in life. But what else can be said rather other than the Proverbs 3 verse 6, 5 to 6 New Living Translation? It's been said, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. In all your pursuits, do not depend on your own understanding. No matter what you think you know, leave room for God to instruct you. Seek His will in all that you do or you want to do, and He will show you which path to take. There's a song that comes into my heart, and that song is from this scripture, trust in the Lord with all your heart. And that's a song I'd like to leave you with today. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. And seek His will in all you do, and He will show you the path for you. And your path is certainly going to be different from mine. And God, who knows the end from the beginning, can put you on the right path. You see, a man can start something, but he doesn't know tomorrow. So he usually cannot finish what he started. But God, being the Alpha and the Omega, the author and the finisher, the beginning and the ending, when He sends you to someone, He factors in everything that will happen along the line. People change. Will you be able to cope with the change? Do you know what changes will come? You are going to change. Things are going to change. So even if you think you can pick somebody, still consult God. This is my recommendation, and He will direct you in the path that you should go. Choose the path of God, and you will not go wrong, even if you need help, because God was there when you started. He will be with you, and He will to the very end. My prayer is the good work God has started in our lives, He will complete it till the day of Christ. Hallelujah. And with that, as I sign off, I want to thank you for joining me. I'd like you to post this video even right now if you haven't done so. I've asked you over and over again, be kind to do that, because it's going to be something that somebody needs to hear right now, or somebody's going to show it to somebody else. And having said that, please feel free to post any subject that you feel this subject is a TGI subject we need to tackle. I'm thinking of doing an episode on desperation. The sinister thing about desperation, how it causes us to surprise ourselves, and usually not in a good way, and how it can deal with us, but we need to deal with it first at TGI. Now, that's me thinking aloud, and I'll take this time as a sign off to invite you to Grace Assembly this Sunday for our hymnal and pure worship service. That is, worship like you never ever can imagine. I want you to join us at 9 a.m. on Sunday at Grace Assembly. And if you cannot join us on site as we would like, please feel free to join us online. We look forward to seeing you on Sunday, and next Friday, invite somebody and share the video. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't trust in anything, no sight, nobody, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will choose for you the path that will work for you. With that, I'm going to leave you to ponder on the things that I said, and I know you will share this video. God bless you. See you on Sunday.